Back at it again with another video, YouTube episode. It's your one and only Steven UKT80. Today we have a very, very important topic, like we always do, but today is going to get personal. Let's start the week off strong, Make sure you like, subscribe, share this with a fellow relative, brother, cousin, friend, sister, things of that nature. The things of that nature. Today we're going to talk about why you must bounce back, why you must keep showing up for yourself, why you must bounce back in life. Like I said, it's going to get personal. Life throws some interesting situations at you, you know what I'm saying? So diving into that personal aspect, like I keep mentioning. So over the weekend, I did a quick little pit stop. Before I stopped back home, I got some food. I was in an area, wasn't too bad that I would have thought of. In an area that I didn't think stuff goes around. And it really caught me off guard. Yeah, man, my car got broken into. Yeah, they got me, man. They got me. This is something that never, ever happened to me in my life, that I never thought would happen to me in my life, that I never expected to happen in my life. Just like some of you guys never expect for your girl to cheat on you. Just like how you expect for things not to go not your way. Just how you expect to, always have a paycheck every week or every 2 weeks. Sometimes it just doesn't help out and work out that way, And when I got back to my car, yeah, I was upset. I was kind of angry in the moment. I'm a human as well. But the first thing I said was, wow. And this is something I wouldn't have said had I been 19 still, 18 still, a couple years back. I said, wow, this really just happened to me. This is my fault. People around looking like, bro, what do you mean it's your fault? What do you mean that I'm calling it? What do you mean this is your fault? I said, I take accountability for why this happened to me. Maybe I shouldn't have went to go get food that day. Maybe I shouldn't have even left the house that day. Maybe it was something that I did to deserve this. Maybe it's something that God is trying to show me to make me a better man, to make me understand, to make me more humble, to make me more, appreciative of the little things that I have. Prior to that day, in the hour, I just got a car wash from one of my OGs since I was a kid who's been taking care of the family cars for a while. We cleaned the inside. So I'm over here happy, I'm feeling good. Car clean, and then look, boom, windshield broken. Glass all over my seats. Glass over my windshield. And I say this to say that, man. It's about how you bounce back. It's about how still you can be in the heat of the moment. It's about how you can be going through something but coming out of a winner. Because what really measures the testament of a strong and a winning man is what he does when he's going through the tough times. Not when he's winning. Not when he's getting that steady paycheck by the man. Not even by the man. Not if he's making that paycheck by himself, self-employed, A lot of people are entrepreneurs nowadays. Not when he's happy, like I said. Not when he's getting everything he wants. Not when he's getting multiple women. Not when he's taking trips. Not when... Of course, exception when you're in the best shape of your life. That's one exception. And you choose to follow Jesus. That's the other exception. You know what I'm saying? Other than those two exceptions, there's nothing that really makes a man that goes through tough times to see how he acts, see how he replies when he's going through those tough times. Because everybody can be clapping for you. Everybody can be rooting for you. Everybody can be on your side, on your team, perhaps, because you're doing good. You have something to bring to the table. People are your friend because you bring things to the table. But what happens when that man is going through a situation I went through? Car getting breaking into. Book bag getting taken. Essentials getting taken. Books getting taken that I worked so hard to get. And God's trying to see your character in his moments, because he wants you to be prepared for the bigger losses and the bigger gains to come, you know? That's why we must continue to go hard, because nothing is ever ours, you know? Not saying the people who broke in my car were right. Not saying, they were wrong. On the opposite end, they could be going through a rough time. They could be down bad on their own. They can be, needing to go come up. Not saying it was the rightful way to do it, but everybody got to survive out here. So this also taught me that it can happen to you. Nobody's safe out here. Your position is never safe out here. You at work, you thinking you have this position locked down. You thinking you have everything locked down. Hey, I don't think so. Somebody else comes with better value, more qualifications, more determination. He can ultimately take your job. You think your girl's secure. Say that's not your wife. Somebody comes presenting more things to raise her hypergamy scale on that person. He's showing more flashy things, getting the surface level girl to see the eye-catching things. He has a higher percentage chance to take your girl. Moving on, sports world. You're not producing. There's a better player on the bench who's putting up numbers, busting your butt in practice, and you know that he's better than you, but you only playing because the coach don't really rock with him. But you stress that coach out, he gonna have no choice but to put that player in. And now look, your minutes might never be the same anymore, because you know that player is coming up. You know he's hungry. You know he's coming up next. The same thing with life, man. And that's why we must continue to go hard, because the harder you go, the more hard it makes for people to take things away from you. The more harder it takes for people to take things that you work for away from you. Say I was a said millionaire right now, Lord willing, I'll become soon, eventually, with the work ethic. I wouldn't be stressing about this. I wouldn't be, doing what I had to do to get this problem resolved. I would have just been like, okay, I'm not going to drive this car today. I'm going to drive my other car and have my assistant take care of this, But there's levels to life, man. There's levels to this. It was a very humbling experience, man, I could have sat there and cried, gave up, and just blamed the world. But life keeps going. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a fuck. Excuse my language. I just got monetized, so I'm here now. But hey, just like I got monetized don't mean it can get taken away from me. So, but I just want to give you the straight truth. Nobody gives a F, for real. Nobody cares, They're telling me to do this, make a report, make a this. Yeah, you can do all that, but in the long run, they don't care. They get reports like that every day. Every day somebody's car getting breaking into. Every day somebody's this is getting that. Every day something is going on. What makes you special? What makes Stephen Ukitiadi special for them to take my case, put it above everybody's, and put me in priority to handle my situation? Who am I to them? And it makes you realize that nobody, like I've been saying, is coming to save you. Nobody's going to give you a handout. Nobody's going to tell you, do this, do that, like you're 10 years old. And some people had to grow up early. Some people had to grow up fast. And we must make the best conscious decision, Don't go drama for drama. Don't go bad for bad. When there's bad, go good. When there's good, go bad, Ultimately, that bad could be good, but never be equal. Always do something different to get your opponent off guard. Somebody talking down on you, pray for that person. Tell them you're going to pray for them. Somebody don't want to see you shining, smile for that person. Give that person that smile. In the word of God, it calls you being nice to your enemies, it'll cause cold fire on their head. That's worse than you taking their life. That's worse than you gossiping about them. That's worse than you talking bad about them like how they did for you, because when they see you taking the steps to be more modest, to be more kind, to be more nice, and they're doing mean stuff to you, it confuses, it tricks the enemy, it confuses the enemy. It makes the enemy realize, like, why isn't he going tick for tack with me? Oh, they robbed your car, Steve? Why are you not going to go rob them? Why are you not going to go shoot them? Why are you not going to go condemn them? And the enemy just pauses, and they get to a state of uncertainty because you're not giving them what they want. You're not feeding in their trap, because that's not your game to play. Let God handle it, you know. And I believe he'll do that for me. You know, as long as I'm getting up every day, being the best version of myself, and trying to win in this world, I will make it. I will get everything I wanted to get. You know, it was a sad case, you know. It just made me realize that nobody in this world is safe. Had it been the CEO's car of you know, Kaiser Permanente, he probably would have got his car broken into in the same spot I parked. Had it been the president on a sneaky mission, you know, went to go get some food by himself, he probably would have got his car broken into as well. So I can't sit back and blame the circumstances that took place because of it just being on me. I can't say, why me? Why me? Why this happened to me? And complain and cry and whine and futter and fist. Because ultimately, I'm just going to remain in the same place. And when you complain, you stay the same. So it's always right that regardless of what happened, you get up and keep going, because God sees that. He's like, wow, okay. I threw this little test at you. To you, it's like, wow, this is little, God? Okay. And then you start to respect God more. You start to fear God, which you're supposed to do, because he does things to make you feel the humility of what you're supposed to owe to him, not to these worldly things, possessions, peoples, places, houses, cars. None of that stuff comes before God, bro. That's what also made me become more at ease. Not saying it was right for them to do that, but knowing that I couldn't take any of the things that they took to the grave with me when I'm out of this world. So it's very important we move with humility, man. Never think you're better than the next man, even if you're doing better than the next man. You know, you don't gotta say too much. They'll see it. They'll see your glow. They'll see how you move. They'll see your charisma. They'll see your posture. And let them come to you. Don't go boasting. Don't go saying, oh, I did this, I did that, I'm here, I'm this. Because when you do that, just like how my stuff got broken into, boom. God can take that away from you too, to show you a lesson of how you're supposed to treat people. Because that's the most valuable thing on this earth, how we treat people. How we bringing people closer to God based on how we treat people. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, guys, like I said, it was a very humbling, good experience to go through, you know. And you're like, bro, you just got your car broken into. What do you mean good thing to go through? But when you look at the bigger picture, now you know that, okay, this happened to me before. So when something happens like that to somebody else, you're able to put them at a calmer mindset. You're able to put them at a better headspace, because you know what it feels like. You know what it feels to go through something like that. So you're able to give wisdom and calm people down when they're going through trials and tribulations in their life. And that can give a big piece of influence to somebody. You never know. Somebody can be close to taking their life. Somebody can be close to just calling it quits. Somebody can be close to just, you know, giving up. But when they see your light, when they see your face, when they see your charisma, when they see your vibe, when they see your godly manners, you're going to remind them why they shouldn't do that. You're going to remind them why they should be as still. You're going to remind them why they should keep going. Even though life throws these challenges at you. Bro, everything is just, in this world, is not physical, bro. It's spiritual. something spiritually went into those people to want to vandalize my possessions, to want to vandalize my belongings and break into my car and take things that they took, you know. Not saying they're gonna catch the people, not saying they're gonna do anything, but God has his own time to punish, you know. We all gonna go through punishment regardless. We're going through punishment right now, just being on this earth, because of how the sinners were, you know. We're all sinners. We're not perfect. So that's when you try to see people that try to act all perfect, like they're all good, like they all that, like they're better. It's like, yeah, that's fine to act like that, but you can't fool the man above. Only he knows your true self. He knows what you do in the dark. He knows what you do when nobody's watching. But you can try to mask that in front of people. You know, that's what we all try to do. Human beings, that's what we're good at doing. You know, they're good at masking. Not me. I'm my true self everywhere I go. But a lot of people care what people think. You know, and I could never do that. I could never. That's basically being a prisoner to people's thoughts and thinking of you. Why would you want to live like that? Yeah, man. Very interesting weekend, but we're back at it this week. We're going harder than we ever went. And I'm going to use this as fuel to become that 1% man that I always wanted to be. And keep becoming that until I ultimately reach the prized possession that I know I can reach. So I won't have to worry about little petty crimes that happen to me like this. You know. Had I had a security... See, I'm not even going to get there yet, man. But y'all know where I'm going with this, man. So, touchy topic today, personal topic today. I'm looking to get more personal, you guys, with the second half of the year starting. Love y'all, man. Get up with you guys tomorrow.